Zinc is something that I think we don't often talk about. Not only does it support immune functions, but also hormone balances and metabolism. And the thing with a lot of these things is once you start taking them, you might not realize, you don't feel like a Superman the next day when you first start taking them. But by not taking them, it creates deficiencies. And when you have deficiencies of zinc, hi, my name is Moe Ghias. Essentially, I'm a kid who's obsessed with winning. Hello. This is our host, Coach Moe. Today's Healthy System podcast is about supplements. And today we'll talk about top supplements for weight loss and health and just overall metabolism. And if you're feeling down lately, if you don't have enough energy, any of those struggles, today we'll talk all about it and what supplements actually work and which ones actually don't work. Because there's a lot of supplements and you see a lot of ads for them. And most of the time they're not scientifically studied, but there are some that are actually very beneficial. So today we'll talk about that because the big question I always get is like, hey, coach, does supplements help with weight loss or are they just a waste of money? So today I'll break down the most cost-effective, science-backed supplements that can actually help you lose weight, but also they can help you boost energy levels. It can also help improve your overall health without any hype. So why does this matter? Well, majority of the time, for those of you that are in corporate America, you don't have a lot of time to go to the gym or spend 2 hours at the gym, or diet alone might not give you all the nutrients that you need. Okay. And especially those of us that live in colder states, you don't get enough sunlight to begin with. So majority of the time you're vitamin D deficient. And we coach a lot of Muslim sisters and they dress pretty conservatively too. So their skin never really gets direct sunlight to begin with. So then we're further creating some of these problems that can actually slow down your weight loss journey, even if you're trying your best with every other way. So these supplements can actually fill the gaps. And that's what I like to call them. So imagine you're building a house. The bricks of that house to build the walls will be your macronutrients, your proteins, carbs, fats, whole foods diet, your sleep, your water, hydration, all of that. Those are the bricks. But then supplements are that cement that make the wall come together, right? That's what supplements can really help with. So I'll walk you through each supplement without going too in depth on the biochemistry of it because you can easily look that up. But a lot of the time, this episode will serve as a reminder for some of the essential supplements that can actually really, really help and just elevate your mood. So if you notice that lately you've been feeling a little down, lately you've been having some brain fog, you haven't been as productive, even your training sessions aren't as good because I'm recording this episode in February in Michigan. So I know a lot of you are experiencing the same cold weather. So these supplements can actually help. So the first one I want to start off with is vitamin D. Vitamin D is very essential for a lot of reasons, for a lot of chemical pathways and our metabolism in our body. But we like to think of vitamin D as it's the sunshine in a pill, basically. So if you live in a state that doesn't get a lot of sunlight, you want to supplement with vitamin D. And it's also essential for immune function. So for your immune system, your bone health, and especially your mood, especially in the winter months with no sun. So, whenever you do get sunlight, make sure to spend some time in it. And obviously you can use some sunscreen, but just being in sun, even for 5 minutes, just exposing your body to it, going for a walk outside, even if it's cold out, actually can really help if it's sunny out, just to go for a walk. So here's the advantage of supplementing with vitamin D. So vitamin D will help you in a lot of ways, but here's what low vitamin D can do for you. So if you have low vitamin D, it's as easy as low energy and feeling like you're in a rut. And that's been my experience whenever I felt like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in a rut. Nothing is moving in my favor. Like you just feel like you're not as productive at work, especially those of you that work in knowledge economy, as I like to call it, where you do, let's say you're a doctor where you give advice to people. Let's say you're a telehealth worker, you're in healthcare, you're a coach like myself. And a lot of these jobs, a lot of these careers require a lot of thinking and require a lot of creativity too at times. Like in my case, I have to produce content. I get to produce content, but I have to sit down and come up with ideas. So if I feel like I'm in a rut and then the creativity is lacking, I always start with biology. And I'm like, okay, what does my body or my brain missing? And more often than not, it's like, oh, I haven't been supplementing with vitamin D and it's not sunny out, it's cold. I'm starting to get slower. So over 40% of adults are actually deficient in vitamin D. So vitamin D supplementation, I think, is crucial to add to your day-to-day life. Just take one in the morning and then you'll be all good. And by the way, all these supplements I'm going to mention, you can access all of them in a Google Doc, in a very, very simple Google Doc that I've written. You can just go to this link, bit.ly. So bit.ly/Moe supplements, MOESUPPLEMENTS. So bit.ly/Moe supplements, and you'll get the full list. And they even have the links available right there. And we'll put them in the show notes as well. But overall, if you go there, you can just grab them from Amazon, like $10, $15 each. The ones that I have on my list that you can access, those are the ones that I take. So I have already researched them for the most part. So they're very well vetted. So that was number one, vitamin D. Number two is creatine, monohydrate. Those of you that work out, and for those of you that just want to feel your best, I think creatine monohydrate is a very good supplement. It's not just for bodybuilders. Creatine over the last 20 years has gotten the rep that it was just for bodybuilders. It's not. It is by far the most studied supplement in the fitness industry, the most studied supplement. And creatine lately it's become a part of my life for the last several months. And I just noticed it's been very good for my brain too. So whenever I take it in the morning, I just feel much more awake. I feel much more, my cognitive functions are much more sharper. So that's one way to look at it, because not only does it help with strength, muscle retention, metabolism, but it also has cognitive benefits as well for your brain and for your health. It's also great for preserving lean muscle mass, right? So one of the last episodes we did, I was talking about that after the age of 30, your body naturally starts losing muscle. So you're naturally losing the muscle you had all of those years growing up. And your cortisol levels are going up, which means you're more likely to hold on to body fat as you get older and more likely to lose muscle mass. So it's just a lose-lose. So anytime we take these supplements, it's basically to stack things in your favor, because there's a lot stacked against you. Just with aging, your body is declining. Your muscle mass is going down. So creatine will help preserve some of that muscle while dieting. So if you're on a diet, if you're trying to lose fat, creatine will help you retain some of that muscle for sure. That's number two. Number three is whey protein isolate. A lot of you listening to this, you might also be lactose intolerant. So a regular whey protein will actually trigger some bloating. It'll cause some problems in your digestion. So the easiest way to hit your protein goals is to supplement with whey protein isolate. Whey protein isolate is just a little bit more pure version of whey protein. And for all of our clients, including myself, who are mildly lactose intolerant, whey protein isolate, good work. It's good. I take it every morning. Just helps me hit my protein. One scoop is about 30 grams of protein. So it just makes it super easy to get enough protein in every day. And protein, as most of you know, it helps with controlling your hunger. It supports your metabolism, preserves muscle mass. It also has great satiating qualities, which means once you consume it, you're not going to be hungry for several hours, as compared to eating junk food, which you eat it, you're going to be hungry after the sugar crash happens an hour later, versus protein keeps your energy levels the same. And especially those of you, lately I've been having a lot of consultations with clients who are insulin resistant. So those of you that suffer with PCOS, any of those concerns, pre-diabetic, diabetic, insulin is a problem. Protein is your best friend. Protein is your best friend, because protein will actually stabilize the insulin response. And it's just better for you. It helps you with muscle mass as well. And one of the things that, I try to communicate with my clients about insulin resistance is the best way to help insulin resistance is to strength train. So like get into the weights. Don't just do the treadmill and the cycling. It's just not effective. But if you lift weights, that's going to help the insulin resistance. Then you provide your body with proper whey protein, isolate even, quick way to get a good protein in. You're setting yourself up for success. So number one, vitamin D. Number two, creatine. Number three, whey protein isolate. Number four, zinc. Zinc is something that I think we don't often talk about. Not only does it support immune functions, but also hormone balances and metabolism. And the thing with a lot of these things is, once you start taking them, you might not realize, you don't feel like a Superman the next day when you first start taking them. But by not taking them, it creates deficiencies. And when you have deficiencies of zinc, you have deficiencies of vitamin D, it's actually going to slow down your recovery from your exercise. It's going to increase cravings. It's going to weaken your immune system. So not having them is actually bad, right? So oftentimes that's the thing with any of these vitamins and minerals and micronutrients that we actually need is that if you don't take them, it's not like your body yells at you the next day, but you start seeing the difference after you start neglecting it and those nutritional deficiencies add up. So zinc also helps with skin health and healing. So I know a lot of our clients, especially our women and female clients, they care about their skin health a lot. So if you want to have great skin health, zinc is a great supplement to supplement with. And the last one is iron. This is critical for energy production and preventing fatigue. Even for guys, iron is super useful, especially for those of you that are vegans, vegetarians. You don't get enough iron or zinc from red meat to begin with. So boom, supplement with them because these are still very critical pathways, right? If you study biochemistry, organic chemistry, you see zinc and iron in almost all of human body, right? These are critical things. And it's a lot of the time, we can go in depth on this on another podcast, but if you look at a lot of the pathways that our body needs to stay healthy, like there's millions and millions of chemical reactions happening inside our body. So those reactions need these ingredients. So when you don't have them, it starts to add up. Those nutritional deficiencies tend to add up. And then you start feeling down. You're feeling weak. You don't want to get out of bed. You just start having all these other symptoms that you're like, I was never that person. I used to be up at 4 a.m. and get my workout done. But now all of a sudden you're lazy. All of a sudden you're like scrolling on your phone more. You don't want to clean your room. You don't want to take any action. And it's like, why is that happening? And then you start, you go to some therapist and they tell you, oh yeah, you need something else. And it's like, then you start doing that. But it's like, at the end of the day, it could have been biology. It could have been something as simple as, hey, you've been so vitamin D deficient. You're so zinc deficient. You're so iron deficient. And nobody told you. You know what I mean? And even if you go to your doctor, the typical annual exam doesn't even test for a lot of these things. So like what I'm trying to prevent is like for you to solve a problem that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? If you go to a therapist, they'll tell you some motivation problem is you need to heal your childhood traumas, right? But if you go to a medical doctor, they'll tell you, oh yeah, you need to do this and this. But it's like, what if we spent 2 years solving the wrong problem and all you were missing was a $20 vitamin D bottle from Amazon? You know what I mean? What if that was the case? So at the end of the day, that's how I want you to think about your body. You know your body best. But at the same time, if you go to the wrong person for advice, like you might just solve the problem the wrong way because the person with the hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? We've all heard that analogy. So these supplements are actually very, very helpful. And this whole podcast was inspired by one of my friends and she's also a great coach. She was telling me the other day, she's like, Mo, man, like I felt like I was on a huge rut for a couple of months and it was tough. And I was like, how'd you get over it? She goes, yeah, like you and I were talking about vitamin D the other day and I realized I haven't been taking it and I started taking it. She's like, it's crazy how good I feel. And I'm like, OMG, right? So at the end of the day, these supplements can really help you. So far I've talked about 5: vitamin D, creatine, monohydrate, whey protein isolate, zinc, iron. Now let's talk about supplements for recovery and digestion. Okay. And again, you don't have to memorize any of this. I'll give you a Google Doc access at the end that you can go to and you can, with a few clicks, you can get all of these very easily. The supplements for recovery and digestion are as follows. Number 1 is magnesium, especially magnesium glycinate. So magnesium is a super good supplement. And there's so many benefits to it. Not only does it help with your sleep, which is what most people think of. They think of sleep as magnesium, right? But it helps with sleep, but it also helps with stress and it helps with muscle recovery, okay? Most people are very deficient in magnesium, very deficient. So remember this. You want to supplement with magnesium for a variety of reasons. You can just take one. I take one right before bed. Super easy way to do it. And I also notice, if you notice, you get a lot of cramps while sleeping. You could be potassium or magnesium deficient. And a lot of us actually, we eat bananas or sweet potatoes, so we can get, decent amount of potassium in our diet. Magnesium is the hard one. So supplementing with magnesium glycinate, super good. It helps with muscle relaxation. If you track your sleep with your Fitbit, Apple Watch, Oura Ring, any of them, you'll notice your sleep score goes up. You actually sleep deeper. There's a whole thing called magnesium dreams, where the first time you take it, you're going to get some really nice dreams that you'll actually remember. Because we dream when we're actually in our deeper sleep. So a lot of us, we don't even sleep very well, right? So in order to get a good quality sleep every night, Magnesium is your best friend. And then I have one for digestion, enzymes. So digestive enzymes. So basically, if you feel bloated or heavy after eating and you fart a lot and like things like that, you all just feel just bloated. It could be that your body could use some digestive enzymes. Okay. Digestive enzymes can help break down food better. So these enzymes can break down proteins, fats, carbs that you are eating. So these are great for those eating high protein diets or dealing with gut issues. Even those of you that are just eating normally, and your body, whenever you eat something, you just get super bloated. You know what I mean? Whenever that happens, I promise you a digestive enzyme can be a game changer. And they're only like, I think $20 on Amazon. They were a game changer for me when I first came across them a couple of years ago. And I still take them here and there. It's just like as you heal your gut, as you get better, what happens is you don't need to take them as often. You can just take one every like 4 days instead of daily. And then I have one for recovery, which is joint support, those of you that are training, which is glucosamine. Okay. So for joint support, especially if you're into strength training or have past injuries, glucosamine can help with cartilage repair, and it reduces joint pain over time. So it also, like the one link I have in my list at bit.ly/most supplements, if you go to that link, you will see that it's in there. The ones that I have is also has turmeric and a lot of other naturally occurring ingredients in there. So last few, this is just going to bring everything together, is for the workouts and just daily health. A woman's multivitamin, they will definitely help. So women's multivitamin can cover all the essential nutrients, support mood, stress. They generally, like a good multivitamin will have zinc, iron, a lot of those things in it. So instead of individually supplementing, you can just take one multivitamin and you should be good. And then it just helps prevent common deficiencies and support hormonal balance. So just remember that. And then if you're somebody that wants a plant-based protein option, OWYN, they tend to make the best plant-based protein shakes, in my opinion. It tastes good. It is a complete protein source. It's not like a half protein. And yeah, packed with good amino acids. And generally our clients with digestive issues, lactose intolerance issues, they should be fine. And yeah, men multivitamin, women's multivitamin. I'll put the links on my list as well by the time this gets released. So then you'll see both of them. So actionable takeaways. I want you to focus on whole foods first. And if you're listening to this, you probably already are. You eat a lot more whole foods, but supplements do fill the gaps, and they're not used to replace a good diet. So I know some of you have done detoxes and cleanses before. They're not going to help you if your diet is not that good. You know what I mean? Like imagine the house analogy I used. You can have the best cement, but if there are no bricks, you're not going to build a wall. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, I want you to start with a diet, but most of you are already done that. So now supplements are important. And anybody that tells you the supplements are not important, or no, all those gym bros that don't believe in supplements, don't believe them. Half of them are on steroids to begin with. So, but naturally occurring, you need these supplements. So I want you to, and you'll realize your energy levels, recovery, digestion, all of these things will start improving. So start simple. Vitamin D, magnesium, multivitamin, and protein are the best places to begin. Okay. Those will get you going. And then later on, we can optimize for later. So if you want my supplement list, just go to bit.ly/most supplements. You don't even have to put in an email. Just takes you straight to a Google Doc, and then you just have the Amazon links right then and there. Because I love you guys and I want to make it easier for you to get healthier, stay healthier, so then you can be of more use to your family, to your community, to your church, to your mosque, and all of your other communities. So at the end of the day, hope this helps. Use supplements to help you, use supplements to make you feel better. Because, and this is somebody, like, I'm talking about this after being in fitness for the last decade. There have been times when I just did not believe in supplements whatsoever. I was not a fan. I wouldn't take any of them. And then I was working out. I was in great cardiovascular shape. I was eating healthy, but even then I didn't feel my best. I remember it's like brain fog and all those things started to happen. And then I'm like, why is this happening? And then I kept studying. And then eventually when I came across these supplements, I was like, hey man, like maybe the belief I've been operating off of, the supplements are bad, is actually holding me back, right? Because the beliefs we hold on to matter. So I want you to question your beliefs, especially when it comes to this. So vitamin D, great supplement. Magnesium, great supplement. Zinc, iron, multivitamins, great start. Okay. And then obviously Whey protein isolate can get you more protein than most other protein sources. So that's actually very good. So I hope this helps. If you want the full link to the supplement list, you can go to the show notes below, or just type it in your browser on your phone or your computer, which is just bit.ly/Moe supplements, MOE supplements, SUPPLEMENTS. Hope this helps. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at Moe Ghias, MOE, G as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.